sensational. Shut up. I'm talking. I am talking. I'm trying to find my granddaughter. You guys don't care about that. All you care is about the sensational.
You guys see the tough George, the tough Cindy, the tough Lee in front of all you guys. We're not like that all the time, okay? We're falling apart.
Get your granddaughter. Don't touch her again. I am touching you.
If you don't want to be knocked down, get out of my way. I'm done with you guys. Leave me alone. Do not come past here. Please, do not come past here. Honor the respect of these other people for a change. Honor them. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Am I upset, sir? You're darn right I'm upset being here. Because I think this is just uncalled for.
In a stunning about-face, the state of Florida announces, as we go to air, the state will seek the death penalty against tot mom Casey Anthony in the murder of 2-year-old Kelly, her own little girl. We are taking your calls live out to Sue in Illinois. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Nancy. Nice to speak with you. I've been trying for a long time to get through to you.
Likewise. Thank you for calling in, dear. What's your question?
Well, first I have a little comment.
Okay.
Your twins are beautiful.
Thank you so much. I am blessed, and
You are.
every night when we cover this case, I want to jump away from the anchor table and run home as fast as I can when I see the pictures of this little girl.
Exactly.
I just want to check on them. What's your question, dear?
Okay. You know, I can understand the Cindy and I forgot his name in the beginning. But
George, yes.
During the deposition, Cindy just had all this vulgar anger in her. I don't understand that. Can you explain that to me? Does she need a psychologist or a psychiatrist or something?
Well, Sue in Illinois, I'm just a trial lawyer. Let's go to a professional. Joining us tonight, psychiatrist Dr. Janet Taylor, joining us out of New York. Dr. Janet, what about it?
Well, you know, as Cindy herself said, they're falling apart, and they have been falling apart for a long time. They have a lot of hostility, a lot of rage, but I think underneath it all is incredible sadness and probably some element of depression, as we know George was depressed earlier. So they are feeling a lot of emotional, extreme angst.
But Dr. Taylor, when you are depressed, do you lash out with such venom, or do they feel put upon? Do they feel beleaguered? I mean, Sue in Illinois is right. There was a lot of venom directed at the questioner.
Well, there's no question. I mean, they project a lot of anger, and certainly anger can be a symptom of depression, but there's such extreme emotional anguish, and what you see is just played out. And, you know, no matter whose side you're on, it's hard for anybody to watch what everybody involved with this case is going through.
Also joining us out of Orlando, Florida, Rory O'Neill with Westwood One Radio. In an extreme about-face, the state announces it will seek the death penalty in Florida. The mode of death is the needle, lethal injection, a cocktail of 3 potent medicines. Rory O'Neill, any idea why the about-face now? Did they know all along and wanted to make it look as if they had thought it through, put it through a committee? You know, a lot of district attorneys' offices, you have to go through a committee if you're going to seek the death penalty. Some rogue trial lawyer that runs a courtroom doesn't just announce they're going to seek the death penalty. So was there some process? Why now?
Whether or not there was some trigger as to why this week this happened. And just to clarify, you know, the electric chair is still available in Florida. So it is either or, and that is the condemned that has the choice as to how they wish to die. But why this week they put the death penalty back on the table is an interesting question. Although, of course, those factors that we talked about before have since come to light since her body was found. The duct tape over the face, the sticker over the mouth. I mean, those are the parts of the heinous and cruel nature of the crime that then elevate this horrible crime to something worthy of the death penalty in Florida.
Out to the line, Stephanie in Texas. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Nancy. How are you doing?
I'm good, dear. What's your question?
My question is this. You know, the judge has obviously filed a grievance with the Florida bar, and that's been established. So my question is, why hasn't, or why didn't, immediately after that, didn't Jose Baez go and request that the judge recuse himself? Because that's obviously going to be, or could be argued to be, prejudicial against his client. Is he saving that for appellate purposes?
Let's go to the lawyers. What about it, Sue Moss?
Oh, I don't think so. I think the fact that a grievance was filed against one of the attorneys is not strong enough to get a judge to be recused. But now, since we're saying out of the way, Jose, because he can't try this case anyway, it's all for naught.
What about it, Alex Sanchez?
No, I think Jose Baez should make an application for the judge to recuse himself at this point, because now every time Mr. Baez goes before that court, he's going to feel intimidated that, you know, next thing you know, he's going to be brought up on further charges by this court. And so, you know, a lawyer really can't operate under those conditions.
Straight out to Leonard Padilla, bounty hunter, who is set to be under oath in this case. Leonard Padilla, why the about face now? The state announcing it will seek the death penalty.
You're not going to agree with me, but I'm telling you, there's something there.
Just please don't blame it on Cindy Anthony. Can you come up with anything other than that?
I wasn't even going to mention her name until you brought it up.
All right, go ahead.
Let's figure it out this way. What if there's a situation that the state would like to have a plea? It was mentioned by one of the attorneys there. Let's get her to plea out to this thing before something that is bugging everybody gets found out. The smart thing for the state to do is put the death penalty back on the table and hope that she pleads out.
Out to Joe Lawless, defense attorney and author of Prosecutorial Misconduct. Let's just get down to the nitty-gritty. Lawless, we've known the facts from the get-go. The facts have not changed. One thing changed, they found the body. That happened a long time ago, and afterwards the state still insisted death penalty not on the table. Tonight, as we go to air, they do an about-face and say they are seeking the death penalty. Why, Lawless?
Nancy, I said it earlier. I think there's a weakness in there that hasn't been made public. They're going to show all the evidence they have. They're going to show everything they can to inflame a potential jury. They're not going to come out and say, hey, we've got to screw up in our forensics. But what they are going to do is put the defendant in a position where a choice of a lesser degree looks palatable. And I'm surprised it was ever off the table to begin with, just on the facts. I mean, you're right. We've known all the facts from day one.
We are taking your calls live as we go to break very quickly. Tonight's case alert in the